Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello and welcome. So today I'm here to test out something quite different. I'm going to be testing out the Rock and Roll Beauty Ozzy Osborne collection. So if you guys don't know much about me, I'm a big heavy metal fan. I've been listening to heavy metal most of my life, and I would say Ozzy and Black Sabbath are like one of the most influential people slash band to grace the heavy metal scene. And when I saw that Ozzy was coming out with, well, Ozzy and his name are coming out with a collection with Rock and Roll Beauty, I was very intrigued. So Rock and Roll Beauty have actually done a couple of collaborations already. One, I think the first one that they did was with Jimi Hendrix, even though he's obviously hasn't been with us for quite some time. Then they recently did one with Def Leppard, and then now there's Ozzy Osbourne. So you can get this collection on the Revolution website. I actually thought that Revolution released this, but it's actually from Rock and Roll Beauty. So I decided to get the Bat edition because there are two different palettes that you can get. There's the coffin one, and then there's this one. This is the outer packaging, so it's massive compared to, obviously the palette will fit in there. So yeah, this is mostly just around Ozzy. So I mean, it's got the shade names are based around some Black Sabbath songs as well, but this is mostly just for Ozzy. So I picked up the eyeshadow palette, and I also picked up a liquid lipstick. They came out with a couple of other things. So I think they came out with some brushes, they came out with a couple of palettes, and I don't know if they came out with lip glosses, I could be incorrect. And then they also came out with some nail like nail stickers. That wasn't really for me, but I decided to pick up this palette because, again, I'm a big fan of Black Sabbath and I'm a fan of Ozzy himself. So let's have a look at the palette. So when you open up the gorgeous palette, you have the Prince of Darkness himself on here, and then you have the selection of shades. So you have a nice selection of like reds, blues and some purples, which I think for an alternative kind of person, this is going to be right up your street. I like the shade names most importantly. So you've got Crazy Train, you have Hellraiser, you have War Pigs, you have The Wizard, which is one of my favourite Black Sabbath songs. You've got Paranoid, No More Tears, you get the point. So you get a nice selection of shades. I think this was about £15, maybe a bit more than that. So it's not the most affordable when it comes to Revolution, but it's not technically a Revolution product. So I'm going to test this out first. So I'm going to start off with some sellotape because we're just going to get going. I'm all sellotaped up, so I'm going to actually do a red look today because, surprise surprise, the lipstick I got was, I believe it's red as well. They came in different colours, but I'll show you that later. So I'm going to start off with Crazy Train just here. I'm intrigued to see the pigment because, again, I'm used to Revolution, but this is not a Revolution brand. This is Rock and Roll Beauty, and I heard of them when they started doing the other collaborations that they did with the Jimi Hendrix one, which I found it quite an interesting collab because I'll get up some pictures as well, because it was shaped as a guitar, which is obviously, if you know who Jimi Hendrix is, he's a very famous guitarist and singer, just an amazing talent who left us too soon. But I've always said this, I find it weird when estates, grant name to brands for a celebrity that's no longer with us. So to give their name to something that they might not have wanted, because I mean, obviously I didn't know Jimi Hendrix, but I think maybe the last thing that he probably might have wanted is to have a makeup collection. I remember when it came out, a lot of people were not that interested in it, but again, I didn't purchase anything, so it wasn't really for me. The Def Leppard one, I mean, I've never listened to Def Leppard as much to kind of call myself a fan. I like the kind of look, the stuff that they did bring out, but when I saw the Ozzy one in the beginning, I did roll my eyes because I was like, why the hell are they doing this? And again, I know Ozzy does wear an occasional, he likes to wear eyeliner, but is makeup really his thing? But again, it's just another way for celebrities to branch out into different parts of ways of making money, essentially, because obviously Sharon is his manager. I don't know, I'm sure she still is, and so I'm sure she probably would have had a say in bringing out a makeup collaboration, which is so odd. But this shade is very, very pigmented. I like it a lot. I don't know if this is a pressed pigment, so I didn't put on, oh my god, my eye brushes are falling apart. I don't know if this is like a pressed pigment, if it's gonna stain my eyes. We shall see. I didn't put on any kind of primer because I was just gonna see how the shades look today. So we are now gonna go in with another brush. We're gonna go in with a smaller brush, and I feel like going in with Hellraiser just to kind of deepen up this little corner bit here. So just going to take some of this, and there's barely any fallout, which I quite like, and again, very pigmented, so it is sticking onto my lid quite well. And so you guys might have noticed my nose stud is gone very small, because when I was at work the other day, this is probably not a very interesting story, but I'm going to say it anyway. The ball in my nose ring came out and fell on the floor somewhere, and I work in a shop that is massive, and I'm not going to look around for it, especially if it's been on a very dirty floor. So I just had to buy a new nose stud, and it's a tad small for me, but it's going to work for now because I don't have the thought process to kind of deal with it right now. So I just got this from Regal Rose, and it turned up in a couple of days, and I'll leave it like this for a while. It looks like I don't have anything, but it's fine for now, basically. So Hellraiser is looking quite nice. I mean, it's blending in quite nice with that first shade, and so it's one thing that's really annoying. When I put this down, it keeps on closing, and although it's made of cardboard, that's fine, it's not magnetic, but I just wish it would stay down so I can keep on dipping into it, as opposed to just having to opening and closing it all the time. But that's just not, it's not a big deal. I did like the look of the Coffin palette, but I felt like this Bat one, obviously, if you know much about Ozzy, he was known to, it was said, I mean, I don't know if this actual footage of it, of him biting the head off a live bat, and obviously that's what he's very, very famous for as well, even from people who don't listen to Black Sabbath or listen to his own music. But like, honestly, when Sabbath came out in the like 70s, like, they were just, obviously I wasn't there, but their music really, really took by storm, like especially in the heavy metal community, because obviously their music is just amazing. Like, obviously you would know the song Iron Man, from which is heavily featured in the movie Iron Man, because if you're a big Marvel fan, you would know that. But of course they have such a big vast collection of music, but it's nice to see sometimes some songs become quite popular and then they, you know, gain new fans. Now I'm gonna go in with, let's kind of lighten up a bit. So we're gonna go with probably So Tired just here, which is a bit of a light, it's meant to be light brown, but I think it looks kind of deep. We'll go for it. But yeah, I discovered Sabbath when I was kind of in school, but obviously I was kind of, I think I started noticing them more when Ozzy wasn't in there, because he was kind of chucked out in the band. I think it must have been like late 80s, but obviously I was born in the late 80s anyway, so when I was younger I think they might have stopped in the 90s, and then it was during that time they were with Dio. If you guys don't know Dio, I highly recommend listening to his music as well. He's an amazing musician. But then they've done so many like reunions with Ozzy. Like I got to see them at Hyde Park. That was such an amazing day. I went with one of my friends and we went to see Motorhead. We saw oh my god, my Soulfly. If you don't know any of these bands, I'm sorry. I got to see Soundgarden, so I got to see Chris Cornell, rest in peace. That was an amazing experience to see Soundgarden. And then we got to see Black Sabbath, and I was so happy because now they don't tour anymore, because there's essentially really just retired the band, but Ozzy is still kind of touring. He's like supposed to be playing at the O2 like next year. It's been like a 3-year kind of wait for a lot of people. I don't know if it's going to happen, we'll see. And now I'm going to go in with Terra, which is the shimmer here, so I'm going to kind of finish that and finish the look. But when I saw Sabbath, it was amazing. It was just such a great day, and I just am so glad that I got to experience it, because I don't know if I would ever have gone to see them if I would have had an opportunity to see them, because I think they're old enough to be at that retirement kind of section. But Ozzy's not been very well for most of, well, since the 80s. But I mean, like, obviously he still is an amazing performer. Like, he still holds an amazing tune, and he's like running around on stage and just, yeah, just being Ozzy, which is what we love to see. But hopefully he can do this tour, because they're touring with Judas Priest, who I'd love to go and see, but we shall see what the future holds. Let's hope it's positive. So first impressions on this palette is really, really good. I mean, if you look at all the shades that I've blended together, I will take this off in a moment, but I just feel like it's all kind of working really well. Like, I've used about 4 shades and you can still see how everything looks essentially. Like, they're so pigmented. I might have actually put maybe too much around here, but I still feel like that red is pretty stunning. I'm just going to put on some more makeup. So I'm going to take this off and then we'll get on with more Revolution products. So for the life of me, I couldn't find my Revolution foundation, so I just used my number 7, and I'm going to go in with a new product actually that I picked up the same time as the Aussie palette, and this is the Planet Revolution concealer and contour stick. So I know this is not a Revolution like review, because I just picked up the products from Revolution, so I thought I would pick this up as well and just use it in this video, because I saw it online and I did quite like the look of it. And yeah, let's just see what this kind of does. So I got the shade C4, so I'm just going to put this under my eyes to see how it will work, and I hope it gives me some kind of pigment, because my eyes are looking super duper tired. I've been working like mad, and like in a week and a half I'll be going to Disneyland Paris for my birthday, so I am counting down the days. I'm so excited. I don't know if this video will be out before or after I come back, but I will definitely do a video on my trip. So I didn't actually put much on with this concealer, to be honest. I know it's like a contour thing as well, but I don't feel like this shade is gonna work for me as contour, because it's too damn light. So if I use it as a concealer, it should definitely give me something. I don't think it's gonna give me the biggest coverage, but hopefully it will give me something. So let's just add this on. Yeah, you can see my eyeshadow much better now. I always feel like once I kind of start completing my look, everything starts to look much better. So I'm going to go in with my blush, and I'm going to go in with my Mad Love cream blushes, because these are absolutely stunning. I've been using these so much recently. Like, when I've been going to work, I've been just using this because it's so easy to use. And I'm just going to use Joker's Favourite and Asylum, so I tend to use these both because they just create such a gorgeous tone and it's not too heavy. So I'm just gonna add that on. But if you guys are interested in this like collaboration, let me know. Do you think it's quite odd that heavy metal singer is collabing with a makeup brand? Because I would never have thought in a million years that they would agree to something like this. But I actually saw on the Rock and Roll Beauty website that you can purchase signed ones, or you can win signed ones by Ozzy. So it's not like they would have made it without their consent, because they would have got sued. But I'm sure that I find it again a little bit odd. But I guess nothing surprises me in the makeup business anymore, because there's so many people out there who are creating makeup brands and creating makeup like collaborations that nothing really will surprise me. Like, I just hope that if they do it with, you know, people who are deceased, that they, you know, that their family and stuff really think about what they're doing. Like, because The Prince one, that fell on its ass majorly. I quite liked that palette that I got, and I still own it. I don't use it as much as I used to, but the fact that the packaging is gorgeous. I did get it a bit too quickly. I should have waited about a week because it reduced in price so much. Like, I could have just waited and saved like 30 quid, but again, too eager on that end. So for highlighter, I'm going in with my recently deceased Beetlejuice collaboration with Revolution as well, and I tend to just mix the bottom two shades because they're the shades that that I like the most, and I just like to pile on highlighter like it's no tomorrow, but that's just the way I am. So we are going to go on the lips now. So like I mentioned, they came out with a couple of shades. I think it was like 3 shades. I think it was like a really deep like dark brown or purple, a red, and another shade. This is called Devil's Daughter. So I did really like the packaging. I think I like the packaging probably a lot more than the tone, but yeah, it's just a really nice kind of like plastic glass-esque kind of look, and the packaging is really nice in itself. Like, I do like the packaging for this and for the palette itself, but yeah, it's quite small. But the thing is, when it comes to liquid lipsticks, I never get through lipsticks ever, so for this to be kind of a smaller size is pretty good. So let's see how this looks. Oh, it's a shimmer. I didn't even realize. Oh, that has taken me by surprise. I really like this. Oh my god. I'm going to see how it feels when it dries down, because it's slowly starting to dry down, and I didn't realize it was a shimmer. I actually just thought it was a matte red lipstick, but it's drying down super quick. Oh, it's like I mean, it's drying down, so I don't know why I'm ahead of myself, but I really like this shade. Oh my god, it's very I'm not a Christmas kind of person, but it's a very Christmassy kind of look because it's got such a pearlescent shimmer look to it. But this is my finished look. I am pleasantly surprised by this collaboration. I honestly didn't know what I was expecting. I bought it and I was like, you know what, it's an Ozzy palette, and I love Ozzy and I love Black Sabbath, like I've mentioned about 100 times. But yeah, this lipstick is super duper cool. I don't know the longevity of it, like how long would it actually stay on for, but the shimmer is stunning again. But let's look at this palette. I mean, I love the packaging. The box is probably a tad too big, so I might get rid of the box because it's just a bit unnecessary. But then you've got the bat, you've got the design inside, and it's actually been approved by the estate themselves, so that's perfect. I mean, I can't wait to use probably this shade. It looks gorgeous, and obviously the Wizard as well, which is a stunning purple. I'm pleasantly surprised. So let me know what you guys think. Would you consider picking up this palette if you are a Sabbath Ozzy fan? Do you think it's weird that an old man is doing a makeup collaboration? Anyway, yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe because I film and upload every time I get a chance to. Don't forget to follow me on any of my social medias because I'm always active on there, and I hope you guys are doing very well. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.